I'd like each one of you to touch on this next question. How much repertoire do you expect an incoming freshman to have memorized by the time of his or her audition? You want to start us off? Okay.
It differs. Each area, we're very independent in terms of each one of our areas. And earlier I was going to give you the advice of just call. Call the person who's in charge at the university that will control your life for the 4 years that you're going to be there, and ask the question. That's how you get your information. I don't think there's anybody up here or any faculty member who would just not talk to you or tell you what you need to do. Everybody who's in music is in it for a good reason, and they're very approachable. Even people you think may not even want to talk to the little freshman coming in. They'll be very honest with you or point you to someone who will give you the right information. And that's what's important. So in terms of memorization, it varies between each area. But that's the call to make. Just make the call. Email, I would say, any one of us, and at least we'll give you the email of the person that you need to talk to get that information.
We expect everything to be memorized. The only exception to that is in a few of the wind areas on some contemporary things, those don't have to be memorized. One thing related to that is, for example, we have, for every single instrument, we have the repertoire that we expect in the audition for freshmen and for master's students. You should look at that when you're a junior at the latest, because if you're looking at that in the summer before you're a senior, it's way too late to be first working with that. And the private teacher should be working with your repertoire that you're going to audition on. So everything has to be memorized, but the repertoire that we require is pretty demanding, and it's going to be memorized anyway. So that's really not much of an issue with that. But do it early. I think that's a really, really critical point.
Very similar things to say. If you're interested, at least on our website for each area again is different, independent. We publish a list of the required memorized repertoire for each area on our website. And we do expect it all to be memorized and well performed. We don't expect you just to get through it, which I think some people think, but so.
Yes, like these other schools at Colburn, the individual teachers have their individual requirements. So some areas, like piano, it all has to be memorized. That's a given. But with the wind areas, maybe not so much so. With sonatas, you don't need to have that memorized. I think pretty much you could say concertos do have to be memorized. So it's on our website what the requirements are. A couple years ago, I heard a presentation by my colleague from USC on Juilliard, and they had actually done a little research project where they had looked at the required repertoire across a number of schools, and they made up a grid, and they found, if you're sitting there going, oh my God, if I want to apply to 5 schools, I have to learn 5 different sets of repertoire. What they found was that actually was not the case, that most schools have very broad categories. For instance, a romantic sonata, or a work by Bach, or possibly a fugue by Bach, or something like that. So you can actually do that, but I completely underscore that you need to be doing this well before your senior year, so you can find the pieces that you need to put all these together, which school needs which, and what do I have to memorize, so that you can play it standing on your head in a cold shower, and you know that work upside down and backwards. And then you'll feel really comfortable on the audition day. So all of that information can be found on websites now. I mean, if you're a sophomore, you can start looking now and seeing what's going to be expected of you, because maybe you're going to have to reach further, or maybe you're just going to have to plan really well.
But if you do it on your head in a cold shower, don't put it on YouTube. You won't get it.
Basically, my colleagues have said exactly the same thing. www.chapman.edu/music, and you look at the auditions and every area, or music, or as the College of Performing Arts. Forgive me, I should be speaking more broadly for the arts and for drama, for theater, and all of that. They're all the requirements are there. Backtracking just to one quick point, though, and we're all talking about don't wait till your last minute. The other thing I would encourage you to do. This was a question just a few minutes ago, and I forgot. Do not waste your summers, if I may. Your summers are your golden times. to be really working hard. I know it's like, okay, school's out, oh great, let me go to the beach. We also tend to be in Southern California, we have a little bit of that culture here. Summers are your golden time to attend programs where you can prepare yourself and get this repertoire and network and get to know the teachers. Programs like Music Academy of the West, granted those are for a little slightly older, but you can still get into those. Idlewild, there are many fine programs here in California as well as across the nation, and if not the world. Go explore. At this point, expose yourself and to get yourself ready. Do not waste the summer. I have the same thing to say generally to college students also during their first, second year, where they say, please don't just sit at home. Actually use your summer. So that's one very, very important way to prepare for your college life.
I can, just to second that, my junior year in high school, I still remember going to Cal State Long Beach and playing in a summer orchestra during the Mahler Fourth. That was absolutely memorable and sure got me excited about orchestral music. So.